It's no surprise that wedding expenses may be high, despite your best efforts to plan and allocate funds wisely. However, some fortunate brides and couples have raised the bar significantly with their limitless wedding expenditures, landing them on the list among the most lavish weddings ever. These couples spent tons of money on their marriages. We're talking about 8 figures, ranging from superstars to billionaires. It makes sense to celebrate finding the one with a lavish wedding if you have the means to do so. Before proceeding, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. Our hearts in the 1990s were constantly pulling for this couple when they exchanged vows in a lavish Malibu state ceremony in July 2000. According to their breakdown of expenses, the couple ended up spending about $100,000 on safety for the special day, which also included limiting the airways around the venue, gotta have their privacy, and then another $75,000 on floral patterns. Because what would a wedding be like without tens of thousands of dollars money well spent on flowers? The bride and groom also spent a lot of money on several musical acts and a 6-piece band. They celebrated their marriage with $20,000 worth of pyrotechnics to round off the momentous evening. Although Brad and Jennifer declared their separation in 2005, there's still some possibility for a second chance as they're both single. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Fort de Belvedere, a location that required a minimum of $287,422 to book, served as the wedding location for Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. The cost of renting the wedding venue at today's exchange rates comes to approximately $368,000. An extended week of grand pre-wedding festivities with family and friends is held in Paris. The famous Italian singer Andrea Bocelli performed at one of Kim and Kanye's priciest nuptials. Also, how did it come to be included on the list of the biggest weddings ever? Givenchy Haute Couture cost $500,000 to create Kim Kardashian's wedding gown. $136,000 floral decoration was also part of the $1 million wedding location. Additionally, about $110,000 was spent on catering to fulfill her ideal wedding dream. It was reported that Kim and Kanye spent $2.8 million on their wedding, not including their vacation in Paris based on several sources. Elizabeth Taylor and Larry Fortensky. One of the multi-million-dollar marriages was Elizabeth Taylor's 9th and final union with Larry Fortensky. When they first met, Elizabeth, who was 59 years old, first saw Larry at Betty Ford Center. Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch in Santa Ynez Valley, California, served as their extravagant wedding location. Elizabeth donned the most stunning wedding dress, regardless of the number of guests. It was a Valentino dress with yellow lace. The lovely blue-eyed Hollywood lady donned a $25,000 bridal gown. Michael Jackson, a close friend of Elizabeth, paid for her marriage. A substantial sum was spent on hiring 100 safety officials and a former member of the Israeli military. The elegant and beautiful wedding had 160 guests. Elizabeth's final union, however, was short-lived because the pair filed for divorce after 5 years. Chelsea Clinton and Mark Mizvensky. Another stunning pair on the list had a mega-dollar wedding on their special day. The daughter of a former president and Secretary of Defense is Chelsea Clinton. Indeed, expensive wedding festivities security costs big bucks. Some publications claim it was discovered that the most extravagant wedding security costs $200,000 to provide. There were rumors that lavish weddings had a $3 million overall spending limit. According to the wedding planners, the estimated cost of Chelsea and Mark's wedding is between $3 and $5 million. Mark Mizvensky and Chelsea exchanged vows at the Astor Courts Estate in Rhinebeck, New York in July 2010. She donned 2 expensive wedding dresses by Vera Wang, the most expensive one costing $20,000. The couple overspent on flowers at the wedding location, spending $500,000. A 13,000-foot outdoor space was decorated with tents for $600,000, turning it into $1 million wedding location. George Clooney and AMAL ALAMUDDIN. The entire globe was surprised by the wedding picture of lifelong bachelor George Clooney. On September 27, 2014, he wed AMAL ALAMUDDIN. Venice, Italy served as the location for their wedding ceremony. Other historically significant weddings only have the bride's attire to break the record. In this photo, George Clooney dons a tuxedo from Giorgio Armani's made-of-measure line. The groom wore a woolen cashmere blend white shirt, a black bow tie, and Oxford shoes to the wedding. Likewise, AMAL ALAMUDDIN wore an Oscar de la Renta gown for her wedding. The pair exchanged vows in front of well-known celebrities, including Cindy Crawford and Matt Damon. Not just because the couple was in love, but since Clooney was always known as a famous bachelor, it was among the most awaited weddings. He cited finding affection in his life as the primary motivator for getting married. Alexei Shapovalov and Ksenia Tsaritsina. You can bet your bottom dollar that the wedding associated with an approximate $8 million engagement diamond would be just as spectacular. Alexei Shapovalov, a Russian businessman, and model Ksenia Tsaritsina exchanged wedding vows in August 2017 in a lavish ceremony, according to Bravo. The newlyweds were entertained by acrobats, thousands of flowers, and an 8-tier cake floating in the air. The bride wore an off-the-shoulder beaded dress for the wedding, and for the reception, she wore a lace dress with a matching veil. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Down the line, we have one more lavish royal wedding. The wedding between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, expected to cost $45.8 million, is planned for 2018. An estimated $43 million was spent on the event security, which included Prince William and Kate Middleton's royal wedding security. Snipers, secret police, military equipment, and protection drones were used to protect the opulent royal wedding. The royal couple's dinner and lunch expenses also came to $686,000. The billion-dollar wedding reception also had a lemon blossom cake made by chef Claire Talk, which cost $71,600. This cake was part of the tradition of lavish, expensive wedding cakes. Princess Diana and Prince Charles. The most stunning individuals on the planet were getting married in the marriage of the decade. Yes, you're entirely correct. Prince Charles and Princess Diana's wedding was the most costly royal wedding. Several sources claim that the royal wedding today costs $110 million. The royal couple chose St. Paul's Cathedral in London as the location for their wedding. Before Princess Diana and Prince Charles's nuptials, 480 years had passed since the last royal nuptial at St. Paul's Cathedral. It isn't easy to imagine the gathering at the wedding ceremony, which undoubtedly had the most guests. In droves, people flocked to the city streets to see the royal pair. Additionally, it's said that some 600,000 individuals watched them. 3,500 people, including the parents of the bride and the groom, were present for the royal wedding. Prince Andrew, Prince Edward, Princess Anne, Princess Margaret, Princess Alice, and the Duke and Duchess of Kent were some additional noteworthy attendees at the royal wedding. The royal wearing the most costly wedding attire ever was expected to be seen by more than half of the audience. 10,000 pearls covered Princess Diana's bridal gown, featuring a 25-foot train. Like Princess Diana's bridal gown, her wedding ring was a central talking point. It was set on a white gold band and featured a 12-carat sapphire stone with around 14 solitaire diamonds. At the time, the value of Princess Diana's wedding ring was roughly $40,000. However, unlike other lavish weddings worldwide, these royal nuptials lacked even a custom cake. Yes, there have been 27 wedding cakes, and they were given out to guests as souvenirs in tiny silver presentation boxes. Thank you for watching. In the comments section, let us know your thoughts about such luxury weddings. See you in the next video.